Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. Unfiltered on 312 Sports.
Bears brass making the rounds in Indy, and we played some of the sound on Forward Progress yesterday. Very, Bears related and roster related, but that's not what I want to talk about today, because I need to figure something out, or at least, to be more specific, decide if we want to figure something out, because I'm not sure if we do. And it has to do with Ben Johnson's obvious conscious decision to lead the Bears community in a new distaste for the Green Bay Packers. And I don't know if there's anything actually behind it. I don't know if any of it is real. And I don't know if any of it matters, if it's real or not. But it is very clear. And I was waiting to see this. I was waiting to know after last year. We've got marking points here. It was Ben Johnson taking the job at the initial press conference, unprompted, offering that he would enjoy the opportunity of beating Matt LaFleur twice a year. I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like that. That kind of came out of nowhere. We looked at each other. We thought, oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. I wonder what the story is there. Because, of course,
and there is no story. There's no background.
Yeah, well, as far as we know, the natural instinct was, whoa, that was an odd
spicy
turn. Why would he say that? What's the history? What don't we know? And we asked and we asked and we asked, and enough people have examined this. There hasn't been an answer yet, other than he's the head coach of the Packers. Even though Ben Johnson had just taken the job, I don't think he'd gotten some sort of internal cultural history lesson, which we know comes from the McCaskey family and comes from ancient, actual, personal animus. That was real. The Hallis stuff, the Mike Ditka, Forrest Gregg stuff, and Charles Martin. A lot of that was real. When you had these rival clubs in a startup league represented by big, strong people who worked in the mills or the meatpacking industry in your various cities, and they represented these groups of people. I understand all that. But the conscious decision last year, Bears were good. The games were great. And it comes down to that unforgettable playoff night. And there on the Amazon post game is Caleb Williams wearing a cheese grater hat, picking up a cheese grater, and grating cheese gloatingly. Ah! And it was awesome. So they've bought in. And then just now, let's go to yesterday. I want to play this sound. And Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk and the NFL and NBC. I think this was under the auspices of NFL and NBC, at least where I saw it. And I'm going to play this with their courtesy to NBC. And he asked Ben Johnson about this. So let's just hear what the Bears coach had to say before we discuss further.
What is the deal with the Packers?
Who likes the Packers?
How much of that is leaning fully into your job as Bears coach, and how much of it is how you truly feel?
Yeah, I mean, the Bears and the Packers, they should not like each other. I think it's as simple as that. And I think that's going to make this rivalry, this game, something that people are going to watch here going forward.
Have you talked to Matt LaFleur at all? Because I feel like he gets confused. Like, what did I do? Do you have any relationship with him? Have you heard from him? Has he called you up and he said, what's the deal? Like anything like that?
No, we don't talk.
Okay. Do you want it that way?
I'm good with it.
Has he tried to reach out to you?
No.
Okay. All right. There was the weird handshake. We know that. It was like, oh, here you go, hug again. And he ran away. And Matt LaFleur was like, okay. I thought when he answered the question, what's the deal with the Packers? And Florio set that up by doing kind of a Seinfeld. He said, do you watch Seinfeld? Which the whole, what's the deal with? That's not the show Seinfeld. That was old Jerry Seinfeld's stand-ups.
Yep.
What's the deal with airline food? That whole thing. His answer was a question. Ben Johnson's answer was, well, who likes the Packers? And Florio laughed at that, which I understand because it's sort of an unexpected response. But there's an answer. A lot of people like the Packers. A lot of people I know and like the Packers. They've got a lot of fans. They're a pretty popular team. But it's just a weird way to, well, who likes the Packers? Well, obviously you don't. It was a fascinating choice of a first response from Ben Johnson. So these are the questions that in general, I guess are we really doing this?
Well, I think, though, Dan, the more important answer he gave is that he said the Bears and Packers shouldn't like each other.
But he means the actual players, I guess. And even though we know the players do not dislike each other at any of these games, they don't. They want to win. They want to defeat their opponent because it's their opponent. But they've all played together. They all know each other. They're all union brethren. So it's not the way it used to be with some of that level.
I don't
of
know.
distaste.
That was in those 3 games last year were different than the way NFL players talk after games and talk about their opponents. It was different. I mean, you had one guy say that God made it happen. You had another guy
well, but
say
he said God made
that
them lose.
God made them lose. Right. God made it happen. Another guy that said that, that we want the Bears because that win was, what wasn't real. That wasn't a real win. We won that game, even though the scoreboard said different when it finally ended. That second game they played, we want the Bears and the Packers. That was different stuff. He helped create the animosity in that season last year. The games, of course, were a significant part of why that rivalry got so heated and so inflamed, because the Packers won 58 minutes of both those games.
Note that heated rivalry reference, by the way. We're going to get to that.
Yes,
later.
It was deliberate for you.
Yeah, I know it was. Thank you.
So when he said that the Bears and Packers shouldn't like each other, and I said this in season, that it's a bit. He's playing a bit, and he's doing it to gain the favor of and even more of George McCaskey. I said to you, I bet you if we had a transcript of the interview, that the word Packers was one of the probably most used words in the interview.
But to now do this, to take it into the off season, he had an opportunity.
No, dude, he went too deep. He dug too deep. There's no crawling out of that hole now.
Well, there is. You could easily say, because it is actually one of the refrains that we've been hearing from the Bears, and that is every season is its own entity. Every team is its own entity. You never, even though you say run something back, you're never actually doing that. You always start over. No league teaches that lesson more starkly than the NFL does, with the wild swings of good teams being bad and bad teams being good. That happens. And
they stole that from me, by the way.
They've been saying that. It's their way of talking about the blob and the inevitable power of the dominion of the blob. It's just the way that the executives talk about it. They don't use my term because they would owe me money if they called it the blob. But who likes the Packers? All right, well, you want me to answer that? A lot of people do. It's just a thing. You don't, and why don't you? So, yes, they're now inextricably in on this, whatever you want to call it. And I guess it's awesome. Because why not? It's only sports. At this point, as much, we don't have to go very far to get yelled at. We don't have to go very far for tribalism. You walk out the door and somebody calls you a piece of shit. That's just the way life is today. That we deal with that everywhere. And in sports, it's always made those manufactured conflicts more fun, more investment, more skin in the game. You feel like there's something at stake in a professional game, other than just, what did Rob Manfred call a trophy? A piece of metal. You feel like there's really something civic, something shared on the line. I understand why the investment, but the question to me really is this wrestling? Are we now watching Ben Johnson and the Bears essentially do a pro wrestling bit. And that might be fine. That can it exist on multiple levels? Can we understand that this? And I think the answer is yes. And I think that's what my commitment is going to be, is to realize that that there may be ginned up hatred. I hate using that word in this case because it's not actual hatred, but the animus, the distaste, and just say we're going to do this. And I wonder if somewhere through some back channel or even a text or a burner or something that he's told LaFleur, hey, I'm gonna kind of be a douchebag, and this is just what we're doing here. No worries, I'll buy you a beer, but just understand what we're doing here. And LaFleur's like, whatever, it's fine, it's cool, don't worry about it. I'll play along. And I wanted that if there is this kind of thing where they can wink and keep doing the kayfabe. I don't know. My guess is probably not, but it might be understood.
Well, I'm going to say that no. Without knowing, I'll say no. There has been no conversation. This is not a choreographed dance that they're doing. Ben Johnson took it upon himself to partake in this bit. And it's good, and I'm fine with it. I mean, if you ask me who I hate the most of the NFL season, it's the Packers. I always have. I always will. And he's just added fuel to the fire, and it's fine. And he has not included Mike LaFleur in on it.
Matt.
Those are
Mike. That's right. Well, Mike's the brother.
Oh, not Mike. Matt.
Okay. All right.
Those are.
It wouldn't surprise me if he did include Mike now.
Yeah, but Matt doesn't know. He didn't.
He can
talk
invent
to
a
Matt
whole
about
Chicago Cardinals thing.
Right. He didn't.
We ran him out of town once, and we'll do it again.
He didn't include Matt on the conversation. He just did it on his own. You know, that was a genuine look of surprise, and I think every time I've seen Matt LaFleur talk about it, his facial expression is genuine. Like, I don't get it.
What's the deal with this guy? Yes.
Right. So, yeah, and Ben Johnson took it upon himself to play up this bit, and I'm fine with it. And he did it initially to gain favor from his owner, and it worked out really well, and it created even more drama. Again, had he not done any of this, the games themselves, if they played out the same way, would have done enough. This is just an extra side bit to it, and it's fun. And it is a bit. And, you know, it's WWE on the outside of the games because you can't do the WWE inside the games.
But here's the thing, though. If LaFleur is not aware of it being a bit, it's not a bit.
It's a bit for Ben Johnson. It 100% is a bit. It's a bit for Ben Johnson. You don't have to have another party involved in it for it to be a bit. You don't have to.
It's just where my wrestling analogy would fall apart.
Right. That's correct. For your wrestling thing, it does not work for your wrestling analogy.
Right, because that is somebody saying that, you know, you're the white hat, you're the black hat, this is the face and the heel.
Right.
And you'll lose here
to
and
answer
win
that,
here.
it's not a wrestling. It's not like wrestling because you have to have both parties involved. I can do a bit. I do bits on you all the time, and I irritate you with it. but I know exactly what I'm doing. Right. And you're not part of it. So, like, you can do that, and that's what Ben Johnson's doing.
You did it yesterday, and I didn't even acknowledge it.
When did I do it yesterday? What? Oh, now, what? Now, what do you? Okay, what more lies are you going to make now?
Okay, ready? And you
come on.
And you're going
to disperse, right? You want to. I do. Get after. Okay.
I will find the text. You did it to me yesterday.
I don't believe you. Find it. Okay. Oh, now it's in writing. I don't believe you.
It's in text. Hold on.
Yep. I didn't say anything.
Here it is. So.
This is not the.
Yes, it is. You know.
This is not.
Oh, no. I totally could just tell the moment when you realized I was right. Okay. This is 11:04. In between shows, right? We had just finished DBU and we're getting ready to do Forward Progress.
11:04. Okay.
And I texted, I said, Poles spoke good stuff. And you said, anything specific you want, pulling some cuts to use. My text was, the LT stuff, DJ Moore, Bajent, Caleb's next contract, so much is good, separate text, compensation for Ian Cunningham.
Okay.
And your next text just says Lawrence Taylor with a question mark. Now, I had said the LT stuff. You know perfectly well what I meant.
I did not.
Don't you even. You knew perfectly well I meant left tackle. There's and so I even had to look like Lawrence. Like, what the fuck is he seeing Lawrence? So I'm like, fine. I'm not. I mean, so I wasn't going to call it out right there. And then I said, no. Here is the. Let me bring this home. I said left tackle, and then your text was, oh, okay.
Yes, because I didn't know for sure.
No.
No, I don't know.
My man.
You're
Mm-mm. No. It's okay.
All right, listen. When you identify it in the moment, you have to call it out. You have to.
No, I don't. I spent all day doing it.
It's more fun for me. This isn't fun for me now.
Okay. All right. So you're saying if I just give me an emoji to use, eye roll.
Fine, whatever. Just don't let it linger. Just call it out in the moment. It's not as fun.
That's not how it works.
I want to know that I got the reaction that I was looking for.
Oh no, you got it now. You got it right damn now is when you got it. Come on.
Whatever.
I'm not an idiot.
Well,
I'll run the ball. I'm not an idiot. Well, kind of a little bit.
All right.
Okay.
Fine.
So yes, the other side, it's if it's more entertaining or less entertaining when the other side knows or doesn't or lets on that they know, and maybe, I think maybe we've figured it out now. Matt LaFleur is completely aware of what's going on.
Even though he wasn't included, he's aware.
Yeah.
But he's not giving Ben the satisfaction by acknowledging it. He's playing dumb to say, oh, I'm going to play my bit back on you.
Or maybe he thinks it helps his team. Why does any coach make any decision a coach makes? It's all based in what helps my team, what helps me win.
Well,
what helps me win? It didn't, but maybe in the long game he thinks it does. Maybe he thinks, oh, they want to play this whole thing, and they want to. Maybe his belief is, okay, well, if they're going to expend all this energy on these games being more important, we're going to take every game just as seriously, and we're not going to do this. We're not going to ride the emotional roller coaster. We're not going to make some of these games more important than any divisional game would otherwise be, and we're not going to pretend we don't like anybody. Life's too short for that.
Or maybe that is what Ben Johnson wants him to do.
Oh, now he's trapped him.
Yes, he's trapped him.
It was an elaborate setup to make him to pull him in.
To pull him in and to make him claim that, hey, we're not going to play your game. We're not part of it, even though he's won mentally already.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe George has been pulling the strings on all of this.
Right. He's the puppet master.
There it is. Okay. Well, I just think is it the ambiguity at the moment makes it fun.
Yes.
So I
did not expect that yesterday. I did not expect it to be a thing. Right. And it's now still a thing.
If it gets more personal, if he decides to keep escalating, I have pictures of Matt LaFleur doing horrible things with farm animals. What? I didn't say that. What? I don't know. I didn't say it. I don't know. You have to run the tape.
Yeah, I think Ben is he's put it out there enough now that other people will engage with it, and it's going to be a huge thing the first time they play.
Oh, before.
I mean, it's going to be
before. Well before.
It's gonna saturate the entire broadcast more so than the actual football game itself.
It is great for us.
Yeah, no, I love it. And I said the first time it happened that it was a bit, and he's playing a bit, and he's doing it for George. Now he's in too deep. He's deep into act number 2. He can't get out of it now, and it's got to continue.
But we need a conflict. If we're in act number 2.
Well, the conflict's the game itself.
Because
you can't script the game.
That's right. We have the built-in conflicts,
yes.
And then we'll need some sort of – because if last year wasn't the climactic moment that would lead to some sort of resolution, I don't know. If he's the showrunner for this, if George is the showrunner or Ben Johnson's the showrunner for whatever Bears-Packers is going to be, it certainly adds another layer.
The only way it continues to grow is if the Packers finish ahead of the Bears. If the Bears finish ahead and win the division again, it becomes less of a rivalry. It's more of a domination. And depends how the Bears play, too.
And it also depends to the extent to which the Bears would want to rub it in.
Right. If they play for 58 minutes instead of just 2, we'll see.
That'd be nice.
I would like that. I'd prefer that. They play in the first half. Would be valuable to me as a fan.
It really would. I agree with that wholeheartedly. But this is going to be an open topic of discussion throughout the Bears season, certainly. But as far as my personal policy, it's at least half a bit. I don't know if it's one-sided or two-sided, but I'm conditionally in. I think there's no reason why this shouldn't be fun to watch. I just my journalistic sense has to be overridden by my dramatic sense. Does that make
Yes.
Does that make sense to you?
It does make sense.
In that journalistically, do you really like, what's the truth? Who liked it, what, and why? But then there's also suspending that disbelief and being like, okay, well, I guess we'll just ride along with it. And I have an internal conflict over the enjoyment of it, and then being like, what are we enjoying? What is this? What are we doing here? Why is he choosing to do this? What's going on? So I don't want to spend too much time with my issue on it, but I don't know if anybody else sort of feels the same way. But like, what the hell? Might as well. We might as well embrace it. And all that matters is that the Bears are good. And if this is just an ancillary thing that makes it more entertaining, fine. Years from now, I would love to talk to Ben Johnson about this.
Yeah, because you won't know until after it's said and done, his career.
And then to decide to use his first combine.
Yeah.
His first real, full-fledged, he's coached games before. He's not on the fly trying to put a staff together.
Yeah, I mean, he could have answered that question from Florio just a myriad of ways and ended this thing, put a kibosh to it. He could have just said, yeah, you know what? That was last season and it was all fun and getting part of the, getting acclimated to this rivalry and understanding what it means to the fans. It was a good time. And yeah, Matt LaFleur is a great coach and I respect everything he's doing over there. But no, he said, who likes the Packers?
He gave him a t-shirt. He gave them a t-shirt. They could open training camp, all taking the field. Who likes the Packers? That can be their slogan.
Oh, stop right there because I already have it written down in my notes here.
What?
I'm making the t-shirts.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Okay.
He just gave away my $1 million idea.
Sorry.
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
He gave him a t that immediately, bang. What's the deal? Who likes the Packers?
Hey, buddy, t-shirts. Who likes the Packers?
There it is. Yeah. They've got their opening day of training camp. They take the bikes from the little kids and these giant men ride the tiny little bikes across the street. Do they still do that?
I don't know.
I love that.
I'm sure some teams do.
Or they probably don't let the Packers do it now because of injury possibility, right? Because it used to be the kids would bring their bikes up and some 400-pound Packer would get on a tricycle.
Well, it wasn't even the kids bringing the bikes up. They would take them from the kid. They'd smack them and take the bike. It was rude. Yeah.
I guess that's still
parents just stood by and watched.
I said, "Oh, that's so sweet. You just smacked my child. Thank you." I had the Bulls game on, and I was watching them play, and I was enjoying. And I mentioned yesterday that even though the team just sucks out loud, and that's good, that it's a really good time to scout the roster and to see how some of these players are being used and how they might fit. I wish I could tell you I'm learning a lot. I have some opinions that are starting to form based on a larger sample size every game. But when we'll talk about this later today, where this is going to be the thrust of the episode on organizations win championships, trying to figure out what we're watching and what we're learning as all of this goes. What I realized yesterday, there were a couple comments as you're listening to the Adam and Stacey show, because and it's a talk show now. At the moment,
I know.
It's basically
it's
a podcast.
And I listen to it in that regard now, and it reminds me of the old Pat and Ron show.
No, it's not as dumb.
Well, no, it's not as dumb, but I mean, as far as like the game itself isn't important anymore.
Yeah, but they've got thoughts, and I've said this before.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say that it wasn't informative or intelligent. It's just where the actual talking between the two radio guys was more of the show than the actual game itself. That's all I meant with it.
They actually did the nationwide read during play, not during a break.
Oh wow.
Like that's how out of hand the game was.
I'll tell you, I saw at halftime, and it was like a 1-point lead for the Hornets, and I said, all right, well, the Bulls will blow this in the fourth. What I didn't know is that they would give it up in the third. That third quarter was, man, oh man.
That you want to see as bad a quarter of NBA basketball as
that was it right there. Yeah,
man, that was like kicking the ball all over the place, not guarding people, and Charlotte was hitting some ridiculous shots.
Yeah,
but boy, they're tight operation. And the most significant thing that I thought Stacey King said, and as he was watching, it was like a slow realization when he said, "Boy, this is such a young roster," and then he realized, he goes, guys like LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges, they're the old guys on this team.
Yep.
That's how you do it. That, you know what that is? Development. And this guy, Charles Lee, can really coach. He can really coach. I didn't know he was a Bucknell guy. And apparently had a reputation. I think he was Patriot League Player of the Year, something like that, and never had more than a partial scholarship, and has always been viewed as a head coaching prospect. Like several guys, he worked on Wall Street for a little while. Billy Donovan did too. But that's an interesting team with a ton of talent. And God, Con Knipple is a wonderful player.
Mm.
And Adam Amin said it yesterday. He said Con Knipple would have my vote for Rookie of the Year over Cooper Flagg. And I don't really think it's that controversial. I don't think it's a big deal at all. Like, what Knipple can do pretty much everything. He's a terrific passer. And Adam was even coaching last night that there was that side out of bounds play. And he said, here he is as the inbounder, which probably means he's going to use a screen and try to get free for the end of quarter shot. And he did. And I'm like, oh, that's good coaching right there. You know, keep it's not just Stacey was doing some coaching out there. But Charlotte is how you do it. And you make sure that you value draft assets. And you use those draft assets to find these players who, and God, Brandon Miller is it's just smooth as smoke, man. He is something. So let them blow by the Bulls. Let the Bulls just keep on dropping like a stone. Or if you're watching Tankathon, rising like a buoy to the top, if they can just bubble up there and get a shot at one of these top four. You saw Boozer doing some stuff last night. You've been watching AJ DeBonsa if you've been staying up late, seeing what he can do. Darren Peterson, haven't really seen enough to know, but keep an eye on that. Keep a close watch. When you are watching the outside from home, you are looking through your windows, and sometimes you look at your old windows and you think, eventually I've got to do this. I got to listen to Bernstein, and as tough as that might be for you, I know that's hard. Believe me, I know that's really the toughest thing, is when you actually decide, I'm gonna actually take Bernstein's advice on something, because this many people can't be wrong about Russ Armstrong. Russ Armstrong of Chicago Window Guys can make it so simple to get improved windows on your house that make such a difference, whether it's hot out or whether it's cold out, whether it comes down to how you clean the windows, how you maintain them, just the their quality. Get better windows. They matter. And you're always hearing advertisements for windows, and you're hearing a lot of gimmicks and a lot of come-ons and a lot of loss leaders and a lot of these fake things. Oh, buy one, get one free, or buy one, get one half off. Buy two, get one. Listen to Russ when he sits at your kitchen table and explains to you what windows cost, what you are paying for, what you get, what matters in what you pay. And it's not the same for everybody. He may say, you want this kind of window, and I'll make this one custom made at my factory for you. Just call him and find out. 847-302-9171. Check out his 5-star reviews at chicagowindowguys.com. And also what I've been learning too from in our neighborhood, putting fully new windows on your home, the good stuff, does help resale value. It really does. It really does help to say, like, oh, are these the initial builder's windows are in here? No, we got special low emissivity windows from Chicago Window Guys, the entire house resealed, redone, etc. It's nice to have done that. So you end up in certain cases making all that money right back. Not even to mention how much you save in heating and cooling. Russ doesn't use subcontracted labor. It's all his people around the house. The same people that installed my windows are going to install yours. So ask him. Ask him about all these bad deals. Ask him about who's installing the windows. Ask anything you can write down, ask him, and he will answer, and he'll make sure that you got the best deal for you. 847-302-9171, and you can check out his 5-star reviews at ChicagoWindowGuys.com.
Hey, before you get on to your next thing, can I just mention something real quick?
Absolutely.
I watched an old 30 for 30 that I hadn't watched in quite some time. I turned it on ESPN to go find the 30 for 30 on the 1980 gold medal or the 1980 Russia.
Yeah.
The one that you'd mentioned.
Yes,
Because
yes.
I hadn't seen the one from the Russian perspective.
It's incredible. Yep.
So I wanted to watch that. And instead, I watched the one about the Whitney Houston national anthem.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
That's from 95?
No. 1990. It's 1990. 90. It's the
19
Bills Giants.
Okay, that was the
So it
start
was
of Operation Iraqi
1991,
Freedom.
the 90
Okay.
season, 1991 Super Bowl, Bills Giants. Dude, it's a quick one. It goes by really fast, but boy, oh boy, was it good.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I forgot how much I enjoyed it. So it's interesting. They were close in 1987. They were close to getting Whitney to sing the anthem for the '87 Super Bowl in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who runs the events, like head of events for the NFL, this is his thing to take care of. And he's in Whitney's manager's office and getting the names of the people in her group that are going to fly down to San Diego, and they're getting the plane tickets in order. About a week and a half later, that manager got fired for whatever reason. And so the whole thing went kaput. So even though she was going to sing, she didn't sing.
Just because the manager got fired.
Yeah, so who knows what it was? I'm not sure. They didn't give any more detail of it. It's just the manager got fired. The relationship ended there. So then she didn't end up singing the anthem. They went a different direction. But fast forward to 4 years later, she's even more popular and she's a bigger name. And then they get her to sing the anthem. And of course, we know what the outcome of it was. Her musical director didn't like the way the anthem is set up in like a waltz. It's like a 3-beat waltz.
Bum, bum, boom, bum, bum,
So he
boom,
changed
bum,
it to like 4 beats.
Okay.
So she could extend out the notes, carry the notes out longer. And they go for the very first rehearsal, and she's late getting to the rehearsal. He's like, hey, I sent you a version of the music. Did you listen to it? She's like, oh, no, I didn't. I was too busy doing this film thing with Kevin Costner. Right. So she doesn't hear it at all. She puts headphones on. They play it. She listens to it. They play it again. She sings it and nails it the first time through. And her director, the music director, was like, this is going to be something special. So then, of course, we know how it all comes out. And the performance was just insane. Sings it with the Florida Orchestra backing her up. And it's the only national anthem to ever break Billboard's top 10. I mean, it sold 1 million copies, 1 million hard copies. It's a really good documentary. So it's a quick one. I think you'd enjoy it. You get information from guys in the military at the time. They follow this one staff sergeant who was in Iraq and what it meant to him to hear it. And you see him today, you see him back then. They get a couple of the Bills and Giants players talking about going into it because, of course, the security going into that game. Al Michaels is featured in it. He says the night before the broadcast, they sit down with like a U.S. SWAT team. And it's like, here's what happens. Here's what you do in case you get kidnapped. Like, that's part of the conversation they had. Like, someone's going to want to kidnap Al Michaels and the broadcast team. But, like, that's the stuff that they were dealing with. It's really interesting. And then, of course, my mind went into seeing all the extra barricades and the fences they put up. I just went back to that extortion letter that the NFL gives out cities.
Yeah.
You
have to pay for this. You have to pay for that.
Do.
Yes.
Yeah, just because of the nature of what was
what's
going
the
on.
name of it?
Yes. That's exactly what it's called.
So just look up Whitney Houston Anthem documentary. I would think if you're presenting this very compelling case for taking time to watch this, you'd have, like the title.
Yes, the Whitney's Anthem. It's a really hard one to remember.
Okay. I'm surprised that slipped your mind.
Yes. I'm not even sure. I didn't even know what the title was, to be honest with you. I just saw Whitney, and I was like, yeah, I'll listen to that.
Whitney.
Watch that.
Anthem. I want to know why the guy got fired that late in the game.
The manager? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Well,
why.
it's a documentary.
Yeah, but they didn't. That wasn't the reason why they were doing the documentary. So
I
her
know.
father eventually became her manager. So maybe that's what it was, because he was their manager in 1990-91 when this happened. So maybe he launched him and took over the gig.
Have you heard about baseball players shrinking?
I have not. Are they
Well,
getting shorter?
Yes. Apparently, they are, all of them.
Well, you know what I learned now is
What?
that I'm no longer tall. At 6'2",
There you are.
I'm not.
There you are.
What I am now is I'm not short.
Okay. Just
Like
hang
you-
around me
like-
more often.
You need to be. Oh no, I don't care. It's just like the way they classify height now. Like you need to be 6'3" to like 6'6" to be tall.
Okay, well, here's the thing. All major leaguers are shrinking every day, and I did not know that until I read this piece at MLB.com about ABS and the challenge system, what's going on with automated ball strike. Maybe you've been watching some of the spring training games, and maybe you've seen the way it's done. I definitely think that there's going to be some best practices figured out where MLB managers are going to talk to their AAA counterparts and who've been dealing with this and just say, like, do it here, don't do it here. Don't let your players make the decision, or always let the catcher decide, not the pitcher. You've got to have a system in place that I'm sure is being worked on to figure out when it's worth it, when it's not, until we replace the human umpire's decision-making completely, which I think is a matter of when and not if at this point. So they have to know every hitter's precise height for the system down to the millimeter.
Really?
They have been lining players up for measurements in every spring training facility. And this is according to Adam McCalvey of MLB.com.
Do they do it like youth baseball where they make the kids line up on their own?
Just
Let's go shortest to tallest, kids. And then
Or-
guys are fighting and pushing each other.
or as what was once said by Yogi Berra, line up alphabetically by height. Major leaguers have been weighed and measured and found wanting since the sport's beginnings. But starting this year, it is a seriously standardized process right down to the hour. Teams are mandated by MLB to take these measurements between 10 a.m. and noon local time on their appointed day. So everyone has to be weighed at the same time of day. Why do you think that is?
Well, it's eating habits.
According to Brewers assistant GM Will Hudgens, the club's point man on ABS, he says it is because people shrink over the course of a day.
Okay, you said they get weighed?
They get weighed and measured, but people people shrink over the course of a day.
Okay.
I guess whatever it is, maybe it is
You hunch over more as the day goes on?
It may just be overall you settle. Gravity tends to settle you. And I'll tell a quick story about some of this things. This is reminding me of some things that I've heard from back in the day.
Yeah, because when we'd be on the road and we'd wake up in the morning and we'd roll over, I'd wake you up, and then you'd get out of bed, you'd be like 6'5".
I know, but then all of a sudden, like an hour later, I was back down to 5'8".
Yeah.
Among the other rules set forth by MLB for measurements, no shoes, no hats.
No socks,
Wait,
no shirt, no
hold on.
service.
Knees exposed, heels together, back against the wall, no slouching.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're allowed to have your, you spin your wiener around either clockwise or counterclockwise.
Well, I think you have pants on, I would hope. They just said knees exposed. They didn't say balls.
I think everything should be exposed. And I do think you should be able, without your hands, to spin that thing around both clockwise and counterclockwise with just body movement.
While you're being measured.
Otherwise, what are you even doing? So Hudgens said it was very detailed. You can tell they've done this in the minor leagues, and they've thought about every part of this. Every detail matters because calls can come down to one stitch of the baseball. Former Brewers shortstop Willie Adames, for example, won a challenge during opening weekend of the Cactus League on a pitch that missed his personal strike zone by less than 1/10 of 1 inch. Determining the width of the zone is straightforward. It's the same as home plate, 17 inches. As for depth, measurements occur at the point the baseball crosses the midpoint of home plate. 8.5 inches from the front and 8.5 inches from the back. They did test a 3-dimensional version, but it allowed breaking balls to nick the edges of the zone, leading to inconsistency in strike calls, which I find interesting because I do know pitchers have been told in the past that that's a block. It is not a plate. It's a block. So have your curveball shave off the back end of that block. I guess apparently you can't do that anymore. Setting the strike zone from top to bottom required more testing and discussion. MLB studied this for multiple years, including trials in the Arizona Fall League and in the minors, before settling on the top end of the zone at 53.5% of a hitter's height and the bottom at 27% of the player's height. That way you can't have somebody with oddly highly positioned knees, for example. The Brewers and the A's were the last 2 teams to be measured. So look, it could affect the playoffs and the World Series, so they were very methodical. The MLB Vice President of On-Field Strategy, Joe Martinez, officials from the league were led by him in measuring each player twice, cut once, with a device similar to the one you'd see in a doctor's office with that little arm. They took at least 2 measurements. If there was a discrepancy of more than a couple of millimeters, a third, then they figure the average of the 3. Now, I know you're going to ask this question. What about in-season call-ups? What about free agents who weren't measured? Well, there's a plan for that. Every ballpark will be equipped with a measuring device. A member of the home team's medical staff will be a certified measurer. Players can ask for the final result. The answer comes in fractions of centimeters. And Hudgens here said, you saw a lot of guys trying to do centimeters to feet conversion in their heads. Yeah, that's no fun. And the MLB officials helped make that calculation. More than once, players took some razzing from waiting teammates when the result came in under expectations. So this is very interesting. This is really, and this is, get used to it, because we're going to find out. We don't have enough data yet to know effectiveness, to know trends, to know where this system is going to have loopholes. We don't know yet. So I just found it interesting that because everybody shrinks, and it reminded me years ago, there was a basketball league. I think they called it was it WBL, World Basketball League? And it was it started as a 6 feet and under league. And then they kept moving it a little bit. And they said, well, it's a 6'5" and under league, or you can have 2 players above 6'5", but under 6'8". And they kept expanding, but they had very specific height slots and height restrictions. And I knew people who worked in front offices in this league. And the stories, who actually could say, I think David Kaplan at the time was working years ago with one of the Chicago team. Who were they? I forgot the name of the team.
Chicago Express.
Chicago Express. I think, or he was scouting for somebody. Ask Cap about some of these stories, because I talked to players who played in that league. And before their measurement, they would shrink themselves. And there were teams that were better at it than others. Who told me? Was it Nikita Wilson out of LSU, who is a legit 6'6.5"? Like, they made him under 6'5". They had him walk up and down stairs with like one of the assistant coaches on his shoulders.
Oh, wow.
To compress his vertebrae. And they like ran him right up to the measurement after. They're like, make yourself, they had stuff on his shoulders and they had him smushing himself down. Like, you can do this. It's like memory foam when it comes to the little pads of cartilage in between your vertebrae, your discs, and your knee cartilage, whatever it is. They had everybody sort of push themselves down to try to get past some of these. Now, I don't think baseball's doing that, But I just do know in sports, when you do have any kind of height restriction or height limitation or an advantage to be gained, people will do things to find an advantage. So I don't know if they spring the measurements on them, or do you have guys you could have them lying on cots or lying on the floor on the day of the measurement. There's stuff you can do.
So they had players over 6'5" were not allowed. That was raised to 6'7" in 1991.
So I was right. Okay.
Your teams were the Calgary 88s, the Chicago Express, which after 1 year moved to Springfield. They played in the Rosemont Horizon first. They moved to Springfield, became the Illinois Express. The Dayton Wings, the Erie Wave, Florida Jades, the Fresno Flames, the Halifax Windjammers, Hamilton Skyhawks, the Jacksonville Stingrays, the Las Vegas Silver Streaks, Memphis Rockers, Nashville Stars, the Saskatchewan Storm, Vancouver Nighthawks, Winnipeg Thunder, Worcester Quartz.
I probably, and this is no joke.
And the Youngstown Pride.
I probably.
Worcester counts. Sorry, counts.
I would guess if you went through those rosters and those coaching staffs and probably the broadcast teams, I would know at least half the league personally, because everybody got recycled in the CBA and the GBA on their way either to the NBA or beyond. That Calgary 88s team, I know who played for that. Chip Engeland.
Wow, they had international teams too.
Well, that's why it was called and the ball.
The Abruzzo All-Stars, the Bahamas Nationals, Estonian Nationals.
The ball had a globe on it.
Wow.
Yeah, the ball had a globe on it, but for a while it started out 6 feet and under. And then
Steve
they're like, yeah,
Earhart was the commissioner.
Look at some of those coaches. And look at some of the play. I may rabbit hole that a little bit later.
Players that played at least one game in the NBA: Vincent Askew,
yes.
Dudley Bradley, Scott Brooks, Carlos Clark, Fred Cofield, Mario Ellie.
Yeah, but Freddie Cofield's Rockford's own baby. That was Rockford Lightning through and through. There, Freddie Co.
Tim Legler, Sidney Lowe, Keith Smart. Milt Wagner, Jamie Waller, Perry Young.
Milt Wagner, the high scorer in the first game I ever called.
Wow.
Yep.
That was something right there.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So you can get around all of this height stuff with all sorts of chicanery, skullduggery, and shenanigans.
So if they come out and they say that Aaron Judge is like 5'11", we're going to know they did something weird? Something's not right with that.
Exactly. Like, hold on a second.
Aaron Judge ain't
It's the opposite.
5'11".
No, but they want to do the opposite. They want to do the opposite.
They want to stretch him?
Yes. They want to take Moises Ballesteros and make him 6'2".
Okay.
That's what they want to do.
So they come out and they say he's like 6'7". They're going to say something's up.
No.
You could just hang. So the Cubs players are all hanging from bars.
You want
training?
No, you want your tiny strike zone is what you want.
Okay.
The pitchers would want everybody taller. The hitters want to be smaller. So where you could game it, I'm just trying to think what the loopholes would be. If you know you've got really good strikeout pitchers, yeah, there's nothing you can do because you're just going to make.
Well, I just tell you right now that
shorter.
some people are going to react to this and say that it's they're ruining baseball. You're ruining the game.
How?
By adding all this technology to it.
Get used to it.
Yep.
Yeah, if you could squeeze Aaron Judge down to 5'10" and give him the strike zone of a 5'10" person, you'd be in deep shit. That's like 250 walks. Every at bat would be a walk or a homer.
Well, I think the Yankees should try to figure that out.
There's anything you could almost is already, but anything you could put in a rejiggered or an untruthful managed strike zone. If you could say, what did you say, 6'10" to 5'11" or 6'7" to 5'11", you could squeeze that down into the old proverbial teacup.
Or even if they can somehow make him 6'5", that would be beneficial.
Hell yeah. Because of the percentages of height that constitute your strike zone.
Yeah, so who's the fattest guy on the Yankees? They can just put him on top of Aaron Judge's shoulders for a bit.
There's no fat guys in baseball anymore. There's a couple here or there.
Oh, no, there's
Josh Naylor is a fat.
Isn't Vogelbach? He's a big boy.
No, he's a hitting coach somewhere now.
Oh, he doesn't play anymore?
No.
Thought he played.
Didn't he get a job as a hitting coach?
I don't know. Thought he was still playing. Well, you can find him, hire him.
I saw his name.
Hire him as your shoulder guy.
Assistant hitting coach for the Brewers.
Could hire him as the shoulder guy.
Daniel Vogelbach. And now that he's a coach, he's going to get huge.
Yeah, he'll let himself go.
He was listed at 270 when he played. Which was
70.
Oh, that was off.
Wasn't right.
No.
He was not 270.
He's going to embrace his genetics, I think, now that he's done with baseball.
Good for him.
I think so too. But yeah, if you could shrink everybody's zone, or if the pitchers could find a way to somehow manage and get false data in there to stretch people's zones, I don't know.
Is it going to help Nico Horner hit more home runs?
I don't know.
Oh.
We'll have to see. But I just thought it was kind of cool. I've got another little note here, and I'm going to test your memory. When we talked about heated rivalry, my wife's obsession and the obsession of many, she was watching that last night too. I said, "What are you watching?" She goes, "I'm watching heated rivalry again." Yeah. Wow. All 6 episodes. She's watched maybe 20 times.
Okay. That's like an Olympic medal status.
No, but she's done like
rewatching,
and not to mention the fan fiction and following. Now there's some huge schism about, like, of course it's devolved into the various groups of the fandom consuming each other and yelling at each other. It's like everything else. I'm just worried that there's going to be some sort of like Gamergate thing that comes out of this. But you can never win for losing because it's just such a huge thing. And now even like the stars of it are being besieged. And what did I say? When I watched it, I liked it, but I've only watched it once. What did I say for me was the star of that series?
You said it was some house on the show.
The Cottage.
Lake house or something, yeah.
The lake. I'm going to the Cottage, which is one of the climactic moments of the series. Spoiler alert. The Cottage is now available to be rented.
Oh, wow.
On Airbnb. And I was so blown away by that little lake house. And it looks much smaller than the show made it look. It's also $181 a night. That's it. That's it. Like, what? Are you kidding? 248 Canadian. That's 181 US. And the host is listed as being named Jane, which is hilarious.
Where's it at? The Cottage? I'm looking up here in my app.
The Cottage is on Lake Muskoka in Ontario. It's about 90 minutes from the Toronto airport. So it's not like you got to fly in on a pontoon plane to land on the lake. You can get there via car. I also, you know me, I looked up Lake Muskoka, northern pike, walleye, largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, lake trout. And there's fishing all over the lake. This comes with, and I looked at the Airbnb listing, there's 3 kayaks, there's 2 canoes. It's obviously, Wi-Fi and everything and all you need. And this starts on March 3rd at noon Eastern is when you can begin booking this cottage. So
you going to do it?
Why not?
How many bedrooms is it?
It is.
So to make sure you and Beth have enough good places to sleep.
Right. What do we need? We don't need much.
We need at least 2 rooms.
I think it's 3 bedrooms.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I can use them all in a night. It depends if she kicks me somewhere. If I say, "Hey, get out of here, you're snoring." But here's the thing: she will not go on this kind of vacation with me. She won't. We did it like one time.
Because of the show thing, or what?
No,
or like, will she want to go with her show friends?
No,
or what do you mean?
No, I'm saying.
Oh, because you just want to fish.
She hates lake houses.
Oh.
She doesn't like the North Woods. For her, the concept of a roughing it, like I would go camping. That wouldn't bother me. Okay. I wouldn't mind. I'd sleep in a tent. I love waking up cold in in a tent and going to that whole thing and then having your hot coffee by the fire and, making breakfast on an open fire. I could do that even at my advanced age, but she will not. For her, like roughing it, like camping would be a Marriott Courtyard.
Okay. So we're similar that way. So my wife's family, they camp. And so I went camping with her and her family like a few years back, like slept in a tent, did it 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Like one night, then 2 nights. And then like I can't do it. It's not my thing. I don't like it. I don't like feeling dirty all the time. I'm more like, give me like a Motel 8. That's like roughing it. That's camping.
Yeah. I'm saying
so like an old score trip would be like roughing it.
Yeah, I'm saying for her, like Marriott Courtyard or like a recently redone Hampton Inn by Hilton is the equivalent for her of staying in a tent.
Yeah.
And so we did it once when we went up to visit Jason at North Star in Hayward. We stayed in Cable at the Lakewoods Resort, and I was great. I had a little fishing boat I would take out in the morning. She was miserable. She's miserable. Like I get nostalgic if you open the screen and there's like dead moths in the screens. That to me is like old home week. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah. Why doesn't she like lake houses? Like
she doesn't.
Okay.
She doesn't.
Like,
she doesn't.
Like a really nice lake house.
It's the best. I know it's the best,
Yeah.
but it's the idea of she likes the house, just not the lake.
Yeah. Okay. Well, she has to go outside. Just stay in the house.
I took her. I said, let's go canoeing. I love canoeing. I'm an experienced canoeer, and I said, just sit in the front and paddle, and I'll figure everything else out. And she refused to paddle. And she's like, okay, I'm tired of this. And then she just set the paddle across the gunnels.
Just threw it in the water?
No, she just is like, I'm done. I said, what do you mean you're done? She's like, I'm done. That's it. I'm done paddling. I'm not entertained. This isn't
well, she
fun.
could take the trip with you and just stay inside the cabin. And
that's what I said. But the fact, so
is
what
there
I'm
a
saying is,
fireplace there? Or
I think there's 2 fireplaces.
Fire up, and she
can
sit
the
there
kitchen is unbelievable. We can make tuna
read
melts in the
books
kitchen,
and
like
drink red wine and enjoy the time alone.
Yeah. Yes. I said, you can have your whole day, hon. We wake up in the morning. We have a breakfast. We have coffee. You can do your little New York Times word puzzle thing, and then I could say, give me the letters for the pangram, and you can refuse because I get the pangram immediately, and that's why you won't give me the letters.
And then you could leave and go fishing, and she could have the day to herself.
Uh-huh.
Sounds like a great trip.
So I think she's going to try.
Okay. With you.
As far as I know.
Okay. Or is she booking this for like her and her heated rivalry friends?
That's a different group.
That's what I think should happen for her.
Because
she would have more fun then.
She would, because we went with that group, the Heated Rivalry Fan Club. That's who we went to Pride Night with at the Blackhawks game. They're fun.
How did the murder orgy thing go?
It was good. Did I share the video? They did the mannequin challenge.
Yeah, I know. You sent that to me. That's when I said, all right, definitely no orgy, but there's definitely murder happening.
Yeah, I thought it was certainly.
No one was murdered?
It was no, as far as I know, nobody was murdered. And they said they did jigsaw puzzles and they played charades. And she told me that there's something you can play Pictionary on your phone via like Netflix or something. Did you know this?
Oh, yeah, I haven't looked into it, but I see when you go through Netflix now, there's a category of games.
Yes, and you can actually
play games.
You can draw on your phone, and it
shows
appears
up on
your
the
screen.
Oh.
It's so cool. I had no
cool.
idea. Yeah, so she did that, and they ate like 3 meals a day and snacked all the time.
Oh, so it's like prison.
But it was... Here's the thing, though. Typical. They were in a gorgeous area right at the New York and Pennsylvania border.
Yeah, the house looked nice.
The house is gorgeous.
Video.
In the mountains, really nice. And they were by a lake in the mountains. They didn't even step outside. Like, I would have been hiking and nothing. Say, well, it was snowing. You have boots? Put boots on. Go take a walk.
Why don't they just go to a nice hotel then in the city somewhere if they're not going to go outside and experience the area they're in?
Because it was Jose's 50th birthday. He and his husband and their 3 kids live in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And he chose this place. He wanted to go someplace in the middle of nowhere and just invite his friends to celebrate him turning 50. And that's what they did.
Well, did he go outside at all? Or did he pick this place and not enjoy it?
I don't know what anybody else did. I don't know. Because she was watching hockey most of the time.
All right. Well.
That's what she was doing. Every time I asked, what are you doing? Watching hockey.
Yeah, well, knowing that he deliberately picked a place in the middle of nowhere, someone was murdered. You just don't know who yet in the group.
Or maybe it is a delayed, it's like the 5-finger death punch. The 5-point death punch where it just takes a while to take effect.
Oh, and then someone collapses.
Yes,
like
and
today.
somebody's going to walk out. It was a long delay, and then boom, they're just going to fall down. So possibility there.
Interesting.
I
think you guys should get it. Get the house, get the cottage, and see. Let me know how it goes.
Okay,
sounds delightful.
We're going to try it. I think there's not a chance in hell that she's going to end up getting it, but we'll see. Maybe I can.
No, I'm telling you, she's going to, just not with you.
Maybe
it's going to happen.
Say, no, I didn't get it. Where are you going this weekend? Oh, industry thing.
Yeah,
I've got. It's a work trip. Where are you going? Toronto.
And then they'll binge watch Heated Rivalry multiple times and enjoy good food and
yeah, probably. Yeah. Now you're making me feel bad about it. I hope I get the chance.
Well, maybe when she goes there for that weekend, you can go like to the North Star and like counsel for a weekend.
No, I don't. They don't want me there. They don't want me wandering around like a creep. I'll just walk around and fish down here. All I need, I can go down to the planetarium and fish. I'm happy. I don't need
fishing for stars.
No, fishing for fish. Oh. There's a lot off of there. Big rocks.
I didn't know they'd fish at the planetarium.
Outside
you mean the shed aquarium? You can't fish at the planetarium. You have to go fishing at the shed aquarium. The shed aquarium is where they have the actual fish.
Outside,
the planetarium is like a sky star thing.
There is outstanding fishing.
Like planets, planetarium,
of both
planets.
Right behind the planetarium on that little back walkway, if you cast out over the rocks, big fish.
On the rocks? That's not really fishing.
All right. You asked me to point out passive aggressive behavior in the moment.
This is not being passive aggressive.
I'm pointing it out.
It's not, but I'm not being passive.
I am doing what
you said.
Asked.
There's fish on the rocks, and I'm just asking, why would there be fish on did they wash up and die, and then you pick them up and then claim to have caught them?
I'm going to do it for Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. Boy. And this has been brought to you by Chicago Window Guys, our guy Russ Armstrong, who you can call at 847-302-9171.
Dan Bernstein Unfiltered on 312 Sports.